God, do I have juicy information about anything to give anybody?
Nothing like federally relevant.
No, nothing federally relevant, nothing even lame relevant. Like, I don't know. I don't know shit.
Me neither. And I'm fine with
It's
it.
sad. You're like, I'm fine with it. I'm all, it's sad. It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margie McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margie McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hello, I am Ramona Ramirez, and I am having a very difficult human experience today. And I was wondering, like, do I actually, because right now we're recording on Friday night. It's Friday, November 15. It's 9:45. And, you know, that's late. But I was thinking, God, like, we're doing this too late? But it's like the thought of ending the day with you, I know I'll be able to go to bed with a much lighter, less burdened heart. So yeah, it's the perfect time. It's the perfect time. And I'm really happy to see you.
I'm happy to see you too. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's the end of a long week. And like, I feel like that introduction, I was overcompensating to the point of it like sounds like the opening of a children's show where I'm like, hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose. Everything's fine. Don't worry. It's just been,
It didn't come off like that.
Great. But yeah, Friday evening, it's like the end of the week. Everything just sort of like lands. And I'm glad that we can launch the weekend doing this, you know?
Me too.
Sort of shake off a weird week, just a weird week. There's a full moon tonight or something, right? So maybe all the energy is going to change or
I don't
what
know.
happens?
I don't know. I thought tomorrow was December 1st. And I was like, oh, thank God. I am ready for fucking November to be done. This has been the shittiest month. And yeah, it's November 15th. It feels like we've lived a year since Election Day.
Mm.
On top of that, like, yeah, I'm still itchy as hell. I took 2 prescription-strength antihistamines before we sat down to do this.
Uh-oh. Are you going to be like lights out?
No. I mean, no. I'm too mad. I'm too mad at like other things going on. I'm too mad at, yeah, a lot of outside issues are making me mad. Heather Dubrow made me mad.
She's so mean to Katie.
I'm fired up, dude. She's so mean,
and she's so mean
everybody.
To kids. Just leave that whole segment. I'm with Andy when he was like, can we just stop this? We've beat a dead horse. Like,
and then she says, oh, I could beat it some more. Like,
I know. You're talking about 6-year-old boys. If your feelings are that hurt by children gossiping about you, you have bigger fish to fry. You have a real problem.
But Tamra is the one that needs therapy.
Yeah,
Tamra is the one. I'll get there. When she started going off on evolving, I was like, where? Somebody bring a mirror to set right now and just shove it up to her face.
I feel like there'd be no reflection. She's just like a vampire at this point. She's just a dead soul.
She's repugnant. She's repellent and repugnant. I know that I use those words a lot to describe her, but what is more repellent or repugnant than Heather Dubrow?
Look, she's dressed like a pile of shit, and if the shit fits, wear it.
If the shit fits, wear it.
Yeah. So, Reunion Part 2, baby.
Yeah, this is Season 18, Episode 19. And we pick up where Emily left off, going off on Jen and the Tammy Wynette bullshit. Emily really had to go hard for everybody and speak on behalf of everybody. And as someone that always feels like I'm not being listened to, I understand it, but it's also like, goddamn. I don't know.
Was behaving like she was in a courtroom. Like she just kept picking apart everything. Like when Jen was talking about having a car payment, when Andy's like, what are you doing to get control of your finances? And she goes, I know, I have a car payment and I make it. And I was like, oh my God, you have a long way to go, but that's fine.
Yeah.
But Emily was like, oh, wait a minute. Didn't Ryan have a car? Does that need a payment? And it was like, leave it alone. Every detail she had to like pipe up and be like, objection. It's just shut up.
Yeah, and I wish maybe it'll come to us in the third installment. Why do we need 3? They had way too much
Can't
filler in
imagine.
this one, and I'm pissed. I wish that they had picked up and asked Jen, like, hey, so tell us more about Emily's in-laws. Tell us more about them funding their lifestyle.
Yeah, we sure did move
We sure
past that
did.
real quick.
Sure did. Let's see. Matt was worried at that party that he would get pegged by the feds, so he distanced himself for 3 hours. And Katie said, God damn it, I wish I'd been able to distance myself for 3 hours. And Katie said with a straight face that she did not think that Ryan was involved. And I was like, oh, wow. But I wasn't there to hear the conversations that Ryan had with Matt and Katie. I don't know, man.
I mean, she
They seem
basically
smarter
said,
than
like,
that, but
based on what Ryan told her, she believed he
okay.
didn't have any involvement. So I wonder if we all got our hands on the documents from the investigation, if we would have a different opinion. And it's also just not worth, who cares what Katie and Matt, you know what I mean? Like, either Ryan did something nefarious or he didn't. And it doesn't feel like you get immunity if you didn't have a nefarious connection to the issue. So
I don't need immunity from shit because I haven't done anything.
I don't have any juicy information to give anyone about anything. So
God, do I have juicy information about anything to give anybody?
nothing like federally relevant.
No, nothing federally relevant, nothing even lame relevant. Like, I don't know. I don't know shit.
Me neither. And I'm fine with
It's
it.
sad. You're like, I'm fine with it. I'm all, it's sad.
I mean, but like, what am I going to, and no one would ever share anything with me anyways, because I'm such a bad, like, liar, secret keeper. Like, it all just like, I immediately turned bright red if someone was like, do you know anything about? And if I did, I'd be like, poof.
Oh,
anyways,
I hear what you're saying.
Heather claims that because all of the women care about Jen, they can't not voice their concern for marrying the subject of a federal investigation. And in fairness, she has a point, but Jen says thank you, and she says there's nothing coming Ryan's way, which is true because he has a airtight immunity deal. And I think that was a sufficient Jen's version of saying, like, fuck off, leave it alone, and everyone did.
Just the faux concerned voice. Again,
please.
She thinks we are stupid. She thinks that she's smarter than us.
Mm-hmm.
I fantasized today. I was in such a bad mood earlier. I was like, if I ever run into her at a Starbucks in Orange County, I'm going to say, you think we're stupid. We're not stupid. We see. I'm not going to say that. That sounded so stupid.
She would never be at a Starbucks. That's for like dirty, regular people.
You don't think she's going to go get a non-fat vanilla sugar-free latte?
Not at Starbucks. She's going to find some, like that place in Bel Air where Sutton goes to get her coffee.
She don't know cool places to get coffee. She wears, what did she wear to the pumpkin patch last year? The fucking poodle skirt and the saddle Gucci
Grease
shoes.
audition outfit.
Yeah. She don't know cool cafes, dude.
Well, then we learned that Tamra was served a cease and desist order from Ryan after her Watch What Happens Live appearance, where she accused him by name of stealing money. And then Tamra goes into this convoluted ass justification, which it was just such a lie. It was such a lie, but she frantically was taking the airtime to like, I redact my statement. I didn't realize I said his name. And of course I take it back. And I also want to take responsibility for saying something else about Ryan, which was that the FBI raided his house, which of course they didn't. And I was like, oh my God, like those are truly egregious offenses, what she's done. If Ryan was innocent, he would be well within his rights to further prosecute her. But like, I don't think he will because it would open up more investigation into him. But she's off the rails. And I don't know if she was drunk that night too, but she sure seems to not be able to remember much. She claimed she didn't remember saying Ryan's name on Watch What Happens Live. I'm like, how unconscious are you? How deep in your fucking cups are you?
Literally talking about him. I watched it. We all watched it. It's literally on Peacock right now or on Hulu. I bet you can just go like dial it up. She thinks we're an idiot too, but it's like I saw her rewriting history in real time.
But she's bad at it. It was so
horrible at it.
And she claims that all of her shit talking of Ryan was in retaliation for Ryan shit talking Eddie. There's no excuse for her behavior.
No, 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 no. I mean, and then Jen says people want the right to stand up to Tamra and her mouth.
Yeah, and some
You
like
know?
basically she said Ryan just hit a break point
Yeah.
and he just unloaded and Tamra gets to say whatever she wants. She literally said the FBI raided Ryan's house. That is a huge deal. And she knew it wasn't true. She claimed the streets said it. Bullshit. Your devious
Oh, the
little mind created
streets.
it and you thought it would be fun drama for the show. And I don't in this moment, I don't blame Ryan for, I hate what he said. I think it's completely inappropriate and wildly out of line.
So
But I
stupid.
understand reaching a breaking point with Tamra Judge and Eddie too.
100. Absolutely.
But I did
Absolutely.
love, Tamra goes, she like whines, like, keep Eddie out of it. And Jen says, were you faithful to Simon? Does Eddie judge you for that? I didn't know Tamra had an affair.
I didn't either.
That was news to me.
Maybe later no, I should just go to sleep. I was
Go
going
to
to say
sleep.
at some
It's not
point this
worth it.
weekend, maybe I can like dip into the Bravo Real Housewives subreddit and be like, did Tamra have an affair when she was with Simon?
She all but admitted it. And because Jen said, does Eddie judge you for that? And Tamara was like, well, no. And Jen says, so you can change, but Ryan can't. You can now be not a cheater, but Ryan can't be not a cheater. Now, I do still have concerns that Ryan might
Yes.
not be a faithful man, but like, that's a great point.
It's a really good point. And Jen, again, she's like out of the mouth of babe. She's not calculating this shit. She's not calculating this stuff. And that's why she comes across as much more endearing as Tamra or Heather or even Emily.
Because
this
she
season.
deals in the truth. Jen,
Yeah, she
when she gets
does.
pissed off, she's firmly planted in the truth. And these
Mm-hmm.
other ones are just flapping around the flagpole making
Mm-hmm.
noise, But Jen is just like, you cheated and you claim that you're faithful to your husband. So why could the same not be true for Ryan? Like, okay.
Can't argue with that.
Nope.
Can't do it. Andy asks Katie why Tamra was so emotional at her dinner. I think, didn't Andy ask her that?
I feel like there was a little bit more of this Jen
Was there more Jen stuff?
Tamra stuff because Tamra admits that she was plastered the night at Katie's party and she says she doesn't remember anything. And Jen again comes right at her with like, and where did Eddie sleep that night?
Yes.
And Tamra couldn't remember, but we later see footage of Tamra admitting that Eddie, nearly banished her to the casita because he was so displeased with her behavior at Katie's dinner party.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Fucking standable.
And then Andy does ask, why didn't Jen let Tamra show her the proof that Shannon may have initiated the background check? And Jen doesn't even let Andy finish the question. She's just like, I've hit my limit with Tamra apologizing, saying she loves me, and then continuing her hateful, harmful behavior. And Jen says, I believe Shannon when she takes responsibility and says that she's sorry. So
I do too. I 100% agree with you, Jen. I 100% agree with you. Shannon is so fallible and she's so flawed. We're not blind. I'm not rewriting who she is. But I don't know. Did you watch What Happens Live last night after the episode?
I watched a little bit of it because I love Wendy McClendon-Covey. But
I do
then
too. Oh
I
my
think
God.
I fell asleep. I don't know what
Wendy
happened to me.
McClendon. So Wendy McClendon and Stephanie Rule from MSNBC were both on. And Stephanie Rule said at some point on the episode, Shannon is so broken, she's fixed. And I, even just saying it out loud right now, it's like, I feel that. I felt that in my bones. Being so broken that you're fixed. Like when you've laid it all out, when you lay out all your brokenness on the table, it's like, how can you not be fixed just from doing that thing? Like when you can admit all your shit that you do wrong, ideally what you do with that after is forgive yourself and make amends. I make the amends. I don't necessarily forgive myself. I'm working on that. It's not working for me to hate myself and beat myself up as much as I do. I get it. But I'm saying, I don't need to fucking go off. But like, I loved that Stephanie Rule said that. It made sense to me. I feel that could apply to myself a little bit. I think a lot of the viewers can see that Shannon really tried this season.
Yeah,
and she's got a lot of work to do too.
She does, because at this moment, But this was so weird. Emily suddenly insists on taking credit for Shannon apologizing to Jen.
I couldn't
And then
believe it.
Shannon fights back. And I was like, you guys just no. She's like, don't take credit for me taking responsibility. I'm like, nobody cares. Like, it was a really weird, again, another moment where Emily was just like, what are you doing? You're not in a courtroom. You don't have to object to every statement made on the stand. Like, just let it die.
She was so triggered.
She really
She's been
was.
so triggered all season.
And yet, we, down the line, I thought it would be explosive when the footage ran of Heather saying the size 12 didn't fit. And she was like, that's fine. I believe it. She's apologized. It's fine. I'm like, what?
It was so out of character for her.
No, it's not.
What?
It seemed like Heather had never been more dropped into who she is when she said that shit. I was shocked.
Heather has some sort of chokehold on Emily. I wonder. Okay,
on everyone up there except Katie. Everyone except Katie.
I think Emily wishes that she was perfect like Heather,
Mm-hmm.
and that her life would be easier.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why she's able to kind of like do this. What do the youth say it? That's why she's able to kind of twist Heather into working for, like, oh no, she doesn't mean me harm. She really is coming. This was out of character for her. And I was like, I just, what? I don't know.
Heather is a mob boss. Like, I don't know what she has on everyone that makes everyone like kowtow to her, or if it's just her money and power that feel too threatening. But yeah, that was a really...
It is. It's her money, her power, maybe her
But to let her get away with that stuff,
her
like...
Terry, her everything is curated. Everything is like...
But Emily has a daughter. Like, to just let someone off the hook for calling you fat on national television as an insult...
Emily...
It's so insulting to every woman out there, any girl, anyone who's struggled with their body image, let alone their weight.
Right.
It was
as long
so
as
shocking to me
if
that
we're operating under the assumption that someone's using fat as a way to weaponize.
I thought Heather was.
Oh, I did too. I agree, but I'm just saying that I want to acknowledge the fact that there is a faction of people that do not think fat is a bad word, and I have been trying very
I
hard
agree with
to
that,
kind of like.
But I think Heather was using it like that, and that's my
I
problem.
do too.
Is
I
that
do too.
nobody, Andy, Emily, nobody said like, wait. When you said the size 12 was tight, explain how that could not be interpreted as extremely cutting, disrespectful, and harmful to anyone's body image. But nobody, everyone was just like, oh, that was out of character. Onward. It was
so wild. I was so unsatisfied. I was so highly unsatisfied.
So disappointed in Emily, who's picking a fight everywhere, except when it comes to something that's actually relevant to, you know, society at large. All of a sudden it becomes, anyways, whatever.
God.
Then we get to, Andy asked Tamra if she's gloating about Ryan's situation, and they show the little clip of her putting her FBI hat on. And then Jen asks Tamra, like, when does it stop with you? And then Jen gets into a conversation saying, like, how can anyone be real friends with her? I asked Heather, is this really your girlfriend? Do you really consider Tamra your friend? And she said, Heather paused and said, Tamra is a historical friend. Heather immediately denies she meant it as a slight, but I appreciated Jen for saying, like, I'm not making that up. I'm not trying to cause a rift. I'm just saying, I said, is she your real girlfriend? You paused and came up with a title for her as a historical friend.
I don't know if you grokked this or not, but when she responds, she's like, I did not say Tamra was an historical friend.
Yes.
Like, she's the
Take
kind
your
of person
grammar ass out of here.
Right, that's going to use an in front of an H instead of the A, which isn't that rule that both is okay? But
I think it's correct to say an historical. The only person I know who does that is my friend who has a PhD in English and is an English professor. The only person in my life who does that.
Right.
As well she should, because she's spent money and a lifetime studying that.
Absolutely. That is not Heather Dubrow.
Heather Dubrow can just fuck all the way off. And by the way, it makes it even more stilted to be like, I said an historical friend. I'm like, well, that's crazier. That's even crazier.
And listen,
with that article in front of it.
I understand what a historical friend means versus a legitimate friend that you want to call and hang out with all the time.
Yeah.
That's like, you're like, shit, I don't think I have any historical friends, but
I
I
mean, it's just
understand the
like people,
concept of one, like someone that
yeah, has
there's
been
like,
in your circle for years.
maybe it feels obligatory or there's some like sunk cost fallacy going on. Like, I don't
Or
know,
they're just
but
around.
right. I absolutely 110%. Because you know why? Heather doesn't want to be friends with someone as déclassé as Tamra Judge. Because at the end of the day, Tamra knows she's fucking déclassé. So I think on this show, when they're filming, Heather's all in. When they're not filming, do you think that she wants Tamra to come with her when she goes to some whatever in Newport Beach? I don't. I don't think she does.
No, I think Jen nailed it. I think everyone's scared of getting on Tamara's bad side because of what Tamara is capable of doing. You know, Jen
Mm,
said, like, whenever you get, or Gina said it, whenever you get pissed off at someone, you throw venom. And Jen says, do you ever feel like you take it too low? And Tamara cannot personalize anything. She goes, we all do. And Shannon goes, well, I think you
Jesus.
take it lower. And yeah. And that's when Gina says, you know, you throw venom when you get pissed off, and that's scary. And Tamara goes, I don't deny it. And Andy said, then don't get defensive when you get called out. And she goes, okay, well, oh, okay. And she finally backed down. But
And then Andy reminds her that she's starting therapy the following day. And she said, and he asks, like, why did you wait so long to start therapy? And she says, when everyone tells you you're dead, it's time to lie down.
and
All
I think
right.
everyone in that situation is Eddie. And I think he said, I'm packing my truck and moving to Big Bear without you if you do not stop drinking and go to therapy immediately.
I'm towing
That's
my
what I think.
Harley.
Yeah.
I'm towing my Harley. Me and my CBD business are out.
Again, that shot of him at Katie's dinner party at the cocktail hour before the dinner party even began, because everybody already has told Tamara she's dead. But I think Eddie said, you're dead. I'm leaving if you don't acknowledge it. And she's like, fine, I'll lie down.
Do you think it had anything to do with the response she was getting on social media, like Reddit, Instagram, TikTok? Like everyone hated Tamara. Everyone thought she was out of control this year.
I think she thrives on attention, positive or negative. So I do wonder if there was a threat in her personal life that
Interesting.
actually mattered to her, you know?
Hopefully.
Because being a villain keeps you employed, you know? She's done it for years. But being an alcoholic and jeopardizing your marriage, that's a good time to actually follow through and go to
Sure
therapy.
is. And then Heather says that she's proud of Tamra and everyone is allowed to evolve and it's a great first step. And I
We'll
thought,
see.
Heather, do you think that you need to evolve? Or are you fully evolved and there's no need for improvement? Because I would love to ask her that. I would love to ask her when she's picking up her non-fat, sugar-free vanilla fucking latte from Starbucks. I would love to ask her if she needs to evolve. Because you know what? Evolution is too messy for her. Evolution is painful, it's bloody, it's full of guts and rips and like she doesn't have the ovaries it takes to evolve. She thinks she's fully fucking realized.
I think
I don't
she's
know. Has
thin
she
and
evolved since we've seen her on this and since ever?
with her kids, I think so. I think her kids, she didn't show us any of the bloody parts of that evolution, but I think, you know, I think with her kids, she probably has had to stretch her understanding of humanity and acceptance and all that stuff. But she doesn't show it. It's certainly
No.
not for any of us to see. And I also think she's thin and she's rich. What else is there? What do I need to
Right?
evolve to? I'm the
And
thinnest and the richest on this stage. What could I possibly gain from therapy?
yeah.
So
Oh,
therapy would
she's
be pointless
repugnant.
for her.
She's
Yeah.
repug. Oh, then they do some little English accent gate and I wrote honk shoe. Yes.
A little London trip package here. Bad accents, boat trip, poop talk.
All
And
all third installment reunion content that we were that they shoved into our second part of the reunion, and I'm pissed about it.
it
It's
just,
insulting and
the only
annoying.
thing that I thought was cute about the London trip segment and actually gave me hope, because I'm quite fearful that Heather is so confident that she's getting Katie kicked off the show. But I think she made a mistake by revealing that when the plane was experiencing terrible turbulence on the way to London, that Katie and Heather were holding hands to support each other through it, which must have been very scary. But Andy was like, oh, great. So there's hope. And I was like, haha, Heather, you just sealed your fate. Katie's coming back. That was
Or
my
she's
hope.
a user and it was a warm body that wouldn't reject her from holding her hand on the plane.
I think that's true, but that's enough for a housewife cast.
Yeah.
And Katie is such a great foil for Heather because she is unbothered by Heather's attacks, and Heather is so bothered by Katie. So bothered. She
Rattled.
cannot calm down. Rattled.
Mm.
I didn't expect this to be so rattling.
I didn't expect this to be so rattling. Right.
Then we get
Fuck.
into Jen's eviction and money problems and a nice little recap of everyone righteously commenting on Jen being a ding dong and really
ruining my
unhelpful.
career. I'm
while
Gina
she's
and you're ruining my career.
in her rag and bone train conductor hat. Yeah, and that's, again, maybe all remember that was all happening while she was at the depth of the crisis. So everyone is just calling her a ding dong and yelling at her while she and her children are homeless or having to live with Ryan.
Which
And
we learned momentarily that all of this went down in 5 days.
Mhm.
Within 5 days, this all went down.
And we learned this new piece of information that Jen could never have anticipated, nor would I have expected her husband to not pay the rent because he was living in the house with her and the kids. Why would you ever think that he would threaten his own, whatever. Why would he threaten his own housing situation and not pay it? So
right.
he's pissed.
I had, I think, one, possibly two, but I'm positive, not positive, but I had one male therapist in my long history of therapists. His name was John, and he was on Sawtelle in that very lovely, like, Japanese block, like that little Japantown block of Sawtelle between, like, Westwood and Santa Monica. Doesn't matter. Nobody called for fucking Los Angeles geography. It just makes me happy to think of that part of town. I loved it. Anyway, he used to always tell me the one way to predict future behavior is past behavior. And it's never left me. It made a very big impact. And now, obviously, that kind of is eschewed if someone is making evolutionary changes in their life. Mm-hmm. But if they're not, nothing changes. And you can kind of like bet the sun on it or whatever. And so that's basically what Jen was saying.
Yeah.
There's no reason for her to think that it wasn't going to happen. So,
yeah. And then Emily, we get another look at her first screaming at Jen and calling her an idiot for not selling her Rolex to pay her bills. And then shortly thereafter, taking it all back, taking responsibility, saying she grew up with nothing and would never judge someone based on what they had, and blames her childhood trauma again, to which I say it is time for you to get professional help. You are creating wreckage all over the place. Go yell at your mom. Don't yell at Jen while she's in absolute financial desperation. You are not supporting her, solving her problem, or supporting your own mental health or healing your childhood trauma by screaming at someone who is not your mom.
I loved it. I love that Andy asked her that. He's like, so your anger was all about what you didn't get in life? And I was all, no. Yeah. It's like, yeah, take it up with the people who, take it up with you, your God, and the people that did it. But like, don't make Jen pay the bill. And
stop it. This happens so consistently now with Emily that it's like, you need to get help because you are becoming Tamra, where you lash out and then apologize and lash out and apologize and lash out and justify it because of your hard childhood. You are pushing 50. Everyone has had a hard childhood or some set of hard experiences in your life if you are blessed to live that long. So get some fucking help and stop punching down. When you're yelling at Jen, you are punching down. And that is gross to me.
She is. She is.
She wouldn't yell at Heather like that.
She would never yell at Heather like that.
As close as she got was saying, like, fuck off. Whereas with Jen, she goes all the way in, saying, like,
all
you're an
way
idiot.
In.
You're
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
With
oh my God,
Heather,
Margie, you're
she
100% right.
Said fuck off and walked away. But
she did. Yeah.
With Jen is a little weaker, so she bullied her. It's gross.
Ah,
And then we get to the tea party dress. God,
Tea Party
who
dress gate.
cares?
Yep.
Her dress didn't come from Revolve. So Ryan said, go to the mall and buy one. I'll use my credit card. I'm your boyfriend. And everyone's response, it's just like, Terry buys all your dresses, Heather. You didn't perform a minute of plastic surgery. Shut up. Emily, Shane's parents buy all of your dresses. Everybody shut up. Like, unless you can trace the funds that you earned paying for every stitch on your fucking body, let the girl's boyfriend buy her a dress for her TV appearance, again, at a moment in her life where she could not feel more low and lost. And $2,000 in that world is just fucking
It's
whatever.
it's on the rack at South Coast Plaza. This
Yeah.
is like de rigueur. Is that how you pronounce it? De rigueur of
Yeah.
the whatever du jour of the day. I
Pret-a-porter?
don't know. Yes, I don't know.
I don't know.
This is not French class. This is a therapeutic dose. Heather says, I already apologized. Just got to get that in. You got to get that in that you already apologized, Heather. You got to get it in. And then she rationalizes it by like basically saying, sorry, not sorry. You and I had a conversation about finances. I gave you many suggestions that you didn't follow. I was concerned. Again, this is what I'm going to say. I'm really glad that I am not Heather Dubrow. I have a lot of shit going on right now. I got a neck that's full of hives. I don't know if my face is ever going to go back to fucking normal. I did an audition today. It was so good, Margie. I taped it at home. I fucking said the name of the product incorrectly and realized my error 2 minutes before it was due. Had a little mini meltdown with that. Thankfully, my agent fixed it. Not a big deal. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, egregious ADHD mistakes and all, like, I am not Heather Dubrow. I'm winning at life because I'm not Heather Dubrow.
Yeah, and she
Sorry, no one
really-
called for my neuroses. No one.
No, I just thought it was so, the added layer of calculation of Heather looking up the price tag and calling Tamra, knowing that Tamra is going to spread this.
Yes.
And that's what Katie said. That was mean girl behavior. You place the call to the person who you know is going to blab this around town. And then everyone defends Heather saying it's just gossiping. And I'm like, to me, mean girl behavior and gossiping are one and the same. Gossiping is so damaging. What are you talking about? And by the way, Heather, last I checked, your whole season was devoted to Disney paparazzi pics, which is just gossip. It's just gossip. So if that's nothing, what has your whole season been about? What are you
she's
so mad
full
about?
hip. Oh my God.
She's
Please, let's go to
ridiculous.
Starbucks and let's double team her at Starbucks.
I just have nothing to say to her.
You
know?
have lots of good things to say. Whether or not she'd
but it
receive
won't
them,
land. But see,
I
that's
know.
the thing is I can't. That's my new, my new layer in therapy is like just going to an audience that isn't present. For people who
God.
can't. It's such wasted energy.
I know it
I
is.
spend all this time putting my argument together and like carefully present it to someone who is just like not capable of receiving it. And I know that going in, but I think but because I put so much time and thought into it and I've really personalized it for them to understand, this will be the time. Please.
And you
Again,
don't-
Heather is going to look at me and go, she's fatter than me and poorer than me. I'm not listening. That is Heather's criteria. That will not change just because I have a good, takedown.
And you don't think that like honoring your inner child is rationale enough to be able to say
It would
something to someone,
upset
even if it
It would upset my inner child more not to be heard.
got it.
For me to express myself fully and to have someone not respond to what I said or to dismiss me altogether, that's just repeating my past. So, yeah.
I'm looking for loopholes, Margaret, and you're just like,
But I think
I don't get any. You're right.
It's different for everybody.
No,
I think some people do get like a sense of recovery and empowerment just for saying the truth in the moment. But because of what needs to be healed in me, I have a tendency to take my grievances to unsympathetic audiences and harm myself further by being told I'm, annoying or not, this isn't important. You know what I mean? And like,
I
so
do.
me talking to Heather, I can see the look on her face. Like, who are you? You're not important. You don't matter. And all that will do is reinforce a bad tape in my own head.
Oh,
So I'm
God.
just not going to take that to Heather. I'll take it to you and scream
Please,
into
forever.
the void about it.
I love it. I'm honored. I'm honored to validate what you need to say.
I just don't think gossiping can be distinguished from mean girl
It's
behavior.
not.
And I'm shocked that Heather talk about a loophole. Come on,
No,
man.
yeah. I was like,
And everybody's supporting that. Gina's like, yeah, we all do it. I'm like, but
it was crazy. It was like,
what are you doing?
It wasn't mean girl. It was gossipy. And I'm like, bitch, on the spectrum of
They're
mean
the
girl behavior,
same.
gossiping is firmly on there. I have never engaged in gossip in my entire life out of kind girl behavior. That's not
Gina kicked Travis and her children out of her house because of gossip. She said, I thought I could stop this woman from spreading untruths about me by destroying a family. Don't tell me gossip doesn't have consequences and doesn't cause harm, assholes.
Yep.
I know this is just a dress, but to Jen, it's bankruptcy, it's abject terror, it's, it's just so careless and unkind.
I agree.
That's Heather.
I agree. And it was mean girl behavior. On that cosmic and psychic scoreboard, DeBro 0, Jen 1.
And then, sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just going to say we just move on to Jen's award from her ex-gate. Tea party dress gate to fucking award from her ex-gate. And he's not making payments. They have an upcoming court date. Emily pipes in again and says she finds it odd he doesn't comply because he's an attorney and can lose his license as well as other types of repercussions to his career. And Jen actually had to go to his house one day and ask him what was up. And Emily basically says, listen, if he's like this right now, he's never going to change. And this is why I'm so concerned about you. And I just dude, decide what you want to do. Do you want to be a soft place for this woman to land? Or do you want to batter around for sport? Because you can't have it both ways. And if you don't know what the answer is, you need to take that up with a professional. Because she is unhappy, I think. Emily? Mm-hmm.
Something's going on because she's so on edge. And Jen is so centered. It was kind of beautiful that Emily was like, I'm surprised he's not complying with the court orders. He could be disbarred. And Jen just goes like, I don't want that for him. And Emily's like, you're so respectful when you talk about your ex. I wish you were ruder. And Jen very calmly says, well, there's 5 people in between us. So Jen, as opposed to Gina, is considering the children ahead of, all else. And that seems appropriate.
Broke my heart. It broke my heart that Jen had to say that out loud. Like, are you kidding me, Emily?
But that's how blinded Emily is by some sort of rage that is not connected to the reality of Jen's situation. I don't know what she is reacting to, but it's intense and it feels misplaced.
I agree.
And then everyone, encourages Jen to build a financial life for herself. And Gina says, it's good for your self-esteem. Be your own hero. And it's like, Gina, until your back was against the wall and the wall was on fire, you didn't do anything either. Nobody changes to be their own hero. They do it because they're out of options. I'm so tired of this righteous bullshit from all these people who have also hit a rock bottom. It's, again, what I love about 12-step programs.
And they hit their rock bottoms 5 minutes ago.
On TV. We saw it.
It's like, where is the humility? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Please, in 12-step programs.
Yeah, no, they just say no matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. So in 12-step rooms, nobody ever says get sober. You'll be so glad you did. They say oh my God, I remember when I was whatever. They share their stories of rock bottoms and offer experience of how to climb out of that hole. But you don't go from fear to faith overnight. It's a bunch of teeny tiny steps and actions. And the way that Gina just reduced it to like, be your own hero. As if Jen would go like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to make $6 million today on brand deals. Like, that's just not how it fucking works.
I
Help
know.
her.
I know.
Or don't.
Like,
But don't say platitudes. Be your own hero. Go away. Go
she
away.
saw it at Marshall's on the home goods rack.
That's what it sounds like.
And put it in her kitchen that she now lives in without Travis and his children.
Ugh.
Low blow, Ramona.
It's like too trite for a children's book, even.
Yeah,
you know what I
get
mean?
it.
It's
I
just
get it.
ridiculous. Anyways, we move into our Travis and Gina segment. And Gina says that things are good and they see each other every day, even though they still live apart. And she claims that the root of all the problems was the ex-wife, and that Gina claims she was trying to protect all of our children. But she also claims that this ex-wife's behavior affected her and her kids in a different way, specific to her, which is just bullshit. She created a family and then destroyed it, looking for an easier, softer way. And it didn't work, as she found out. You don't stop someone spreading lies about you just because you no longer live under the same roof.
No, but you might teach your children that what you do when something gets really hard is you bail.
100%. And what she taught Travis's children is like, if you are connected to anything outside of your control that isn't easy, then people bail on you.
Oh my God, Margie.
And it's so, and again, they were with her through Matt's trial, through Gina's alcoholism, through and her DUI. Those kids were in the house with her through all of that. And the second their mother is acting out, I keep going on about this, but I listened to, did you listen to the Bravo Docket episode?
I did not. Wait, which one? About
where they read through all of the complaints in Travis and his ex-wife.
No, I didn't.
It's fascinating.
Okay, I'll have to listen to that.
She is not well.
That's what I've heard.
But Gina is not under imminent physical threat. It's just annoying. It's an annoying ex-wife. And there's no reason for Gina to have done what she did. It's really unpleasant, but like, it's not unusual for divorces to get unpleasant. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know what Gina expected. And hers was unpleasant too, which she seems to do. Yeah, you get it. Anyway.
I know.
But that episode's really good. I highly recommend.
All right. I'll
listening to it.
I'll listen to it. I'll listen to it.
I do think it was interesting what Gina said at the end. Someone asked if she thought that it would be the ex-wife would lay off or it would get better now that they've separated. And Gina says, I don't think it will ever get better. And I had to learn how I can live with this and still keep this incredible person in my life. Singular. Didn't mention his kids. And for now, this is how I can achieve that. Again, I'm just so, I don't know why I'm like obsessed with Travis's children, but they are suffering so majorly. And like, it just sounds like she's just like, don't
Oh my
care.
God, I'm so sad. Oh, that's so sad.
It is really sad.
That's so sad.
I think the subtitles were wrong because they break for lunch. And I think Heather said, I need some solace. And I think someone responded, you need solids? And Heather goes, no, I don't eat solids.
Yeah.
I was like,
that was
my God.
I was just hoping that she was joking.
I think she was, but like, it was just, I don't know. I'm glad they left it in because it's just, again, Heather Dubrow is, everything she does bothers me. She can't do anything that doesn't get under my skin.
No, they break for lunch. We see Lexi arrive and go to her trailer. And then we see Heather on camera, of course, on camera, checking in on Shannon. Are we good? We're good now, right? And I was like, you know what? Go evolve, bitch. Why don't you go evolve? In her little Gucci pashmina. Are we good? We're good, right? On camera, she has to do this.
But she also gave herself the loophole of, and if we fight later, that's okay. And I was like, don't do that. Like,
Dude.
It's so manipulative and controlling and evil.
She's so unsatisfying. She's the opposite of Bandon sticking his hand in a bunch of hard candies. So satisfying.
So cute.
She's
And
so
then
unsatisfying.
She is unsatisfying. We check in with Katie and Jen, and Katie asked Jen if she felt like Katie put her in a bad spot by asking her about Heather gossiping about her dress. And Jen says no, because it was mean girl behavior. When you take a comment like that to Tamra, you know what you're doing. And
Truth.
then we see Gina and Emily. And Gina says the most incomprehensible thing I've ever heard in my life. She says, maybe Heather has been a mean girl in her life, but not to Katie. I'm like, did you watch this season? Every frame of it is her being a mean girl to Katie. What is going on with these people?
I think that,
it's a cult of Dubrow.
Gina is glad that she's not the bottom of the totem pole this season.
Yeah.
It's Katie. It's Katie. Katie's lying. Katie's got a shady history with the cops. She gave custody up of her kids. Like, Gina is just like wiping the sweat off her brow, proverbially, like, phew, it's not me.
Yeah.
My extensions aren't even bad this year. All I wore was a bad newsboy cap. That's the only thing anyone can accuse me of.
And that confessional outfit with her Boba Fett hair.
The disco. Oh, the Boba Fett hair. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. Anyway.
And then we see Tamra visiting Alexis's trailer, giving her the advice to try not to be John's voice. And then Alexis just immediately insists, like, well, the truth has to come out. And if the lies had stopped, I wouldn't have to be John's voice. And it's clear we're about to just hear a script that John Jansen put in Alexis's mouth.
Oh, God. I think that Alexis is like a little out of touch. And I think I feel for her a little bit, the littlest bit. It's like, she has all this focus on John and not on her own life. And I wish she wanted better for herself. And she says as much at the end of the episode that she needed a reason to get out of bed. And
I think this is all motivated by grief.
It's completely all motivated by grief. Absolutely.
Or the avoidance of grief.
Yes, that's what I meant. Yeah.
All of her
absolutely.
anger, all of her lust for John.
Mm-hmm.
All of it is just in an effort to not feel how she felt when she was stuck in bed. And that's heartbreaking, but that is a choice, and it comes with consequences down the line.
I want better for her. I wish that she wanted better for herself, but
she just wants a distraction, and she got it. But I don't know who John Jansen and Alexis are if Shannon is an essential part of their relationship.
I agree.
I don't know what they talk about, what gets him hard if he's not pissed off at Shannon, you know?
Why is this like the greatest love that they've both known? I mean, like, obviously we see what John gets out of it. Alexis, for all her faults, she is bubbly. She does seem to obviously have a loving heart, and she does seem to be accepting of people. Obviously, Shannon is excluded from that. But other than that, like, what does he love about her? Like, I mean, what does she love about him?
I never heard anything about how he comforted her, any specifics about how he comforted her in his grief, how much fun they have when they do specific things that they love as a couple. Nothing. It's all
Didn't go to
Shannon.
the GLAAD Awards with her. Like, no.
Right.
Yeah. Went to the Vanity Fair or went to some Oscar party, in quotes. Again, I don't know. They didn't go to like a real Oscar party. They went to like
they went to like some, I don't know, screening party or something.
Right.
But
yeah.
I don't have great faith in that. I hope it doesn't come to fruition in a marriage. And if it does, I don't have great faith it'll last very long.
I mean, not my
circus. His drinking bothers me, and I don't.
Monkey.
That is a progressive illness as well, and that's not a great
agreed
long-term plan. Then we get to the Emily and Heather package where we learn about Emily losing 40 pounds, and we get to revisit the fashion show with the oversized jacket and the large version of the little back dress, and Heather's confessional moment where she says the dress was a size 12 and it was tight. And she just like coldly apologizes as it's running, like, again, I'm sorry for that.
I apologize again. She can't sit in not being perfect even for a minute. She had to.
Katie nailed it. That's what Katie says. She's like, I think Heather gets really defensive when she's not painted in the perfect light. And Heather can't help herself. She goes, oh, shut up. And I was like, proving her point.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, literally right then. Yes. And Tamra and Heather laughed extra hard and extra hard, like, and extra loud and extra hard, like pointedly so, when Emily's tape is of her referring to Katie as the 5-minute girl. Like, I don't know if you noticed that, but it was like I mean, yes, full ass mean girl behavior. Like, oh my God, it just, so, like, Heather is never that effusive
No,
and
and I think they
just
just assume she's going
so
to be
gross.
fired, and I really hope that Andy doesn't let that be so. They touch a little bit on Tamra bringing up on camera that the kids shit-talking Heather. Emily denies her kid said anything. Katie's daughter denies initiating the conversation. And, and Heather is just so butthurt by children talking about her for 5 minutes. This, again, was like one babysitting occasion with 2 6-year-olds and a 20-year-old. Like, you're 100 years old, Heather. Move on. And Katie didn't plant that. Nobody's that manipulative. And Katie and her daughter have both said we were laughing about it. It was like it's just, I cannot believe that Heather is so, I don't know. I can't believe she's so invested in this gossip item. And I know she's trying to turn it into Katie being a bad person, but what it's shaping up to be is targeting a 20-year-old girl. And it gets worse as this goes on. But like, she's 20 and you're allowed to fuck up when you're 20. And I'm glad your kids are perfect, Heather. That's great. But some 20-year-olds like go on TikTok and do lip syncing. Like, go on TikTok more. There's far more offensive shit and far like it's what she did is nothing. It's absolutely, who cares? Stop caring about what a 20-year-old is doing. Ew.
I agree.
Get back in your own life, you idiot.
I agree.
There is a little moment of the back and forth about the size 12 dress being tight and Emily forgiving it for being out of character, but also saying it proves my point that people see my size and build and feel free to comment on it. And
I think I said this at the beginning of the episode or like towards the beginning. I don't understand how they thought this was out of character for Heather Dubrow. It seemed
neither.
like this was the most in character thing. Like, yeah, Emily dick rides for her, does all the heavy lifting while Heather sits there just like with like the pained, put out victim look on her face. And I was like, she infuriates me. And
but she also claims that like Emily drove her to it. Yeah. You said all those mean things. And then she produces again and says, roll a package, which was really ineffective because Emily wasn't taking shots. She was just saying, Gina, you're up Heather's ass.
She did.
Heather wouldn't listen to her. And it's Emily saying like, fuck off and walking away. And
Heather, like when she's like, you know how I feel about you. You're gorgeous.
Don't
I took
say
a
it like
shot.
that. That's like when
I took a
people
shot,
call
which
you
I
healthy.
never do. I never take
Right.
shots. And I was like, the lady doth protest too much.
Well, she's just
We've
blaming.
seen you take shots, bitch. Like, should we call an ambulance? I think she's having a psychotic break. Like, she takes shots constantly, but she thinks we're stupid, dude.
Yeah, and then
TikTok
we move
gate?
in to this Kylie section where, we find out that Kylie and Sophia, Tamra's daughter, have not remained in contact, which I think is fine. And everyone argues about which kid said what. And Heather fixates on how Bandon must have heard Katie shit talk Heather a lot in order to have made his harmless and adorable comment. Like, they show it. He's a baby. His voice is so high. He's like, was she mean again? Was she mean? It's like, he's a kid.
For the millionth time. So cute.
And then Andy, thank God, was like, don't you all talk in front of your kids? And they were like, no. And Heather's like, your children are still young. You'll see. And it's like, Jesus Christ, you guys.
Shut up. Yeah.
And also, you don't have to talk in front of your kids. Word to the wise, we listen. My sister and I were talking about it the other day of exactly where we would sit in the upstairs hallway to listen in on every conversation. You can think you're hiding it,
100%.
but kids are curious and invested. We stayed up all night listening to fights or whatever.
They listen to everything.
Fuck yes.
They listen to everything, right?
Even if you think they're in bed. Like,
plus, don't tell me
it.
for a minute that Heather Dubrow doesn't talk shit about whatever, whoever, in front of anybody that's in her trusted circle, like including her children when they were younger. I'm sorry, this is bullshit. I have a kid. Josh and I will be having conversations. Sometimes it is about stuff that in ideal circumstances, our 8-year-old wouldn't be there to listen to. But we also sometimes think, oh, he's watching fucking Arthur right now. He's not paying attention to us. When then like an hour later, he'll be like, so what? And I'm like, oh my God, little pictures, like And that's my code word, like little pictures from A Christmas Story. It doesn't
Oh, I don't
matter.
know that.
It's just like, it's the way the mom in A Christmas Story said to the dad, like, little pictures. We're not supposed to talk about this in front of the kids. So my sister and I have always said little pictures.
Like
Like,
pictures, like a pitcher of water or like a
I think
baseball
so.
pitcher?
Or I don't even know. Like, she just said little pictures. I don't know what a
Aw.
picture is, actually. That's a really good question.
Or a picture? I don't know.
Little pictures, like little kids that are going to remember this stuff. So we got to be quiet. But yeah, I don't believe
What
it.
we wind up doing, though, is circling back to Tamra. It sort of reminds me of like Scandival, where everybody was getting mad at lots of people. And it's like the only person anyone should be mad at is Tom Sandoval. The only person anyone should be mad at is Tamra. Emily said she and Shane handled it off camera. They were not going to bring it up on camera. Tamra brought it to camera. And that is what ignited this whole mess. And it's completely unnecessary. And again, it involves children. Say what you will, but 20 is not 40. And 6-year-olds should not have their names brought into this in any realm. It's absurd and embarrassing. Heather should be embarrassed.
Aren't even fully formed at 20
Just
years
let a
old
kid
yet.
be a
I
kid.
know, let a kid be
What
a
do you
kid.
fucking care what they said? Why
My
do you
God.
care?
And then I'm just saying, these women are piling on a 20-year-old. They are piling on a 20-year-old person of color. These white women on the couch to Andy's left. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say.
And then Heather comes at Katie like so hard and harsh and evil. And I love Katie just being unaffected. Heather's like, I don't know what I've done to you. Did I run over your cat? And Katie just goes, I don't have a cat. She like barely put a consonant in. She was just like, I don't have a cat. And she's like, your daughter is going out into the world speaking ill of me amongst her peers. Have you seen TikTok, Heather? You scroll through so fast. I don't remember. I was on it for 3 hours yesterday. I don't remember a goddamn thing I saw. I literally don't remember anything I saw. Nobody is like trying to figure out which housewife this girl is lip syncing a song about dick sucking to. Nobody cares. You are so not interesting. It's like amazing. You would be amazed how not relevant you are to 20-year-olds on TikTok of all places. Please
God.
get over yourself. God. Anyways.
My kids are 20 and they would never do this. I just of course not. Of course not. Because
I can't wait to see what they do because
Yeah.
again, part of growing up is making egregious mistakes. Okay. So like, I'm sure you will cover it up and we'll never know what it is that they do. But just if you're 20 and you're out there, like you're going to make mistakes. Don't
Yeah.
feel like you have to edit your TikTok content with a Heather Dubrow monitor in mind. Make mistakes, make
I
big
know.
choices and
I
learn
know.
from them early, for Christ's
Oh my
sake.
God. Tamra, even Sophia was a little bit disgusted. And then Heather tells Shannon there's tacit approval in what she's doing. And
And Shannon came down too, saying like, if I saw
know.
my kids, I'd tell them to get the fuck down. And I'm like, oh, but you wouldn't tell yourself not to drive your car into a house?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's
Well,
okay, Shannon.
You're a
you've
great
done,
parent, Shannon.
You've
Great
done
job.
in your little nucleus of a family, in your family with you and your 3 daughters, you've already done the humiliation.
Yeah,
And
you got
you
in
did
a
it
fight with your
firmly in
boyfriend
middle
and
age.
got drunk and
Right.
peeled out and ran
Right.
into a house.
Right.
So you have get off your soapbox immediately. You are so
Dude.
embarrassing.
Dude. So yes,
And
Andy shuts
Katie
it.
the whole time is saying, I was expressing my disapproval. I asked her to take it down. She is 20. She is an adult with free will, and then Heather's like, why didn't you get on the text thread and say, I'm sorry, ladies, I asked her to take it down. And Katie was like, it didn't occur to me. Because again, Katie is living in reality where a 20-second TikTok video doesn't feel like it's this big of a fucking deal. So this was just a really weird moment of fixation for all of these women.
Honestly.
Like you said, there was something really
Yep.
sharp and ugly about the target.
Coded.
And
coded.
the age, like every piece of
Yep.
it is just like
Yep.
you talk about punching down. You've chose the youngest, like most, minority group that this show has ever seen. And, like a TikTok lip sync video. She didn't even get on there. Heather's like said, she's on there saying, we're gross women who suck dick. I'm like, no, she lip synced a song like literally everyone does. Like, what? That's the whole point of that
That's the
platform.
whole point
You
of that platform.
dumbass. Ugh.
Oh, she's such a, yeah, she fully Karen'd and okay boomered there. I don't
Yes,
care how old she
yes.
is. She might not even be in the boomer gen, but I don't
No,
care.
I think it doesn't matter. They all became boomers in that moment of just like,
Honestly.
you are so out of line. And again, 20 is not any 55-year-old screaming at a 20-year-old is disgusting to me. I would fucking never.
Disgusting.
Yeah. You're not supposed
Alexis
to.
entered,
Yeah, okay.
and Andy. Oh, wait. Did you have anything else to say about
No, I'm
that?
done. I'm done.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay. So Alexis comes in, and Andy's like, "You seem to have reclaimed the Jesus Jugs." And she's like, "Yeah. Okay." Yawn. Andy congratulated her like wholeheartedly on her engagement. And I thought it was kind of irresponsible of him to do that. I
I
guess
feel
it's
like
like the nice thing to do, but like, congratulations are in order. But instead he was like, like he was just really effusive about it. And I was like, Shannon is sitting right next to you. And also, really? Is this what you want for her?
I
I
think he
don't
was just
know.
trying to like mood spread,
Okay.
because it had gotten
Okay.
so gross and dark. And he's like,
Okay.
let's talk about your engagement. But then the weirdest exchange when he's like, do you have a date set? And she's like, yes. And he's like, when? And she goes, within the next 12 months. I was like,
Yeah.
that's not a date.
Yeah. It was not a date.
A
It was
year
not
from
a
now
date. It was
is
weird.
anywhere within a year from now is not a date, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like, nope, not yet. We're just happy being engaged. What is the rush? Anyway.
Especially because she says we won't be living in one house for a while because Alexis still has young kids. She's what, like 15 years younger than him. So her kids are still living at home and his house is too small and it sounds like he's unwilling to move. Cool, not a red flag at all. And
Oh, yeah. You're right. Oh my God.
move out of your fucking marina house or keep that house as a rental property or keep it as a house and buy another one with her or something.
Oh my
But
God,
he's just like,
Margie.
nah, I'm going to stay in my bachelor pad because I like it here. And she's like, okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Andy asked her about her religion and brought it up because she has a trans child. I love that he brought this up because we're all curious about it, you know?
Yeah, Andy mentioned that when she was last on the show a decade ago, she was very religious. And they show a
Mm-hmm.
little clip of her saying that the hierarchy is God, marriage, then kids.
My God.
And that actually gave me a lot to think about. Like, I wonder if I believe that or not. I haven't had to test that, but it's interesting.
I didn't like it. I think it sounds
It sounds weird because
gross.
it feels like kids are they're
Yeah.
dependent. So like how
It's
can they come after? I
right.
understand needing to tend to your marriage, but like if a kid
Mm,
has pneumonia, you can't be like, well, it's date night. Like
right.
I guess I don't understand how you actually put that into practice when you
To
actually have kids.
to me,
If
it
someone needs
reeks
a diaper change, you can't like
right. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I don't remember what franchise we were talking about that got me really triggered, where I feel like children are the most like, ooh, see, I might cry. They're just not taken seriously because they're little. And so that's what that saying reeks of, like God and then your spouse, which we all know historically in religion, that means the man is more important than you. I don't think that women are I mean, look at trad wife bullshit. It's the man. It's the man, honey. And then the wife, and then the kid. But the kids are like persona non grata. The kids are just extensions of you. They are not their own people to be respected. And it makes me violently angry.
yeah, I think I just don't understand. I think I don't understand it. And it does feel like that hierarchy does come, like you're saying, from a conservative religious
Mm-hmm.
philosophy where marriage means like, don't forget to tend to your husband just because you had babies. It's
Gross.
like God is always first and then tend to your husband and then also tend to your kids and also have energy for all of that and don't need any time for yourself. And like, it just feels like, ah. But
Gross.
she says that if you believe in a higher power, you'll be a better person. And I was like, well, that's a very vague statement, but okay. And she says that She seems to be claiming that she's always had a mind that anyone should be able to live the life they want. But
Yeah.
now with a trans kid, she understands the pain that goes along with the life of a queer person. And that has made her more vocal, which I appreciate
I
about,
do too.
you know, tolerance, inclusion, rights, equal rights, all that stuff. And it's
Oh my
nice that
God.
Alexis and Heather have bonded over all of their kids, their queer kids and their other kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we learn that Tamra and Alexis squashed their beef at BravoCon 2023, and Alexis apologized to Tamra for the lawsuit.
Well, no, Tamara
Oh,
apologized, right?
Tamra apologized for the
Yeah,
lawsuit?
Tamara said, like, sorry for what I put you through. And, I was out of line to say what I did.
Oh shit. I thought it was the other way around. Like
Maybe, but
why did Jim go after them so hard? I don't know. I don't give a shit,
I
actually.
could be
I'm
wrong.
sorry. It's technically my creative job to know the facts as I talk about this on a podcast, but I also don't care.
Well, and again, this is just what I wrote down, and I could easily have reversed the name. So, but someone apologized to someone and they squashed their beef.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Andy asked what it was like coming back to the show after 10 years. And this is like the one moment where Alexis opened a little chamber of my blackened heart. And she said she couldn't get out of bed after her mom passed. So she needed to get back to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe her that she was grateful for this opportunity coming along when it did.
Agreed.
And it probably saved her in a way.
Agreed. Then Andy asks Shannon what the status of the lawsuit is, and she's still waiting to hear back from John. He was willing to lower the settlement to $70,000, but he won't sign a mutual non-disparagement agreement. Then we go back and forth to what does Alexis have? What do Alexis and John have on Shannon? I'm calling this video gate. What's on the video? What's on the video? And it's then they start talking about the truth, and Alexis says that Shannon has a strange relationship with the truth, which is parroting what John said, and everyone brings this up. And then we see the flashback of the lawsuit text from 2018, and Alexis says it's not what Shannon says it is, and she tries to say that the text back then wasn't a threat because there was nothing legal attached to it. And I said, what? This is a stretch, as the kids like to say. This is a stretch.
It's just trying to get off on semantics. She said, and
Totally.
we noticed it in that premiere episode. She said, there's no legal document with my name on it. Correct.
Yeah. It's just okay. Yeah. I
But
saw
I
the
do-
text and I
I
saw
do-
the intent.
Yes. I do think it was interesting. The video stuff, I don't think it was as much about what's on the videos as I think John has punished Alexis for bringing up the videos on camera. And now Alexis is trying to buy it back because that added an extortion element to Shannon's case. Because Alexis is on screen saying, gloves are off, we are going to release the videos. That's extortion. That's blackmail. And I think Alexis was desperately trying to buy that back. And I think John probably really got up her ass to make sure that I think that's why that segment lasted so long. Because
That makes
Alexis
sense.
claims that Shannon brought up the videos and she says, go back to your emails, check the truth. And it's like, this is weird that we're spending this much time. So
It was so.
I imagine that's a
God.
big point in the lawsuit and why John isn't signing anything yet. I'm sure he's trying to get around the extortion issue. Oh, they're both real pieces of shit. And again,
I
who
agreed.
are they to each other without Shannon at the center of their relationship?
I'll
Time
ask
will
her that
tell.
Starbucks too.
Yeah. And then we get the Where's the Door Shannon Bedore segment where we see Alexis saying it twice within 1 hour. And yeah. And then Alexis, as they get into all this stuff about whether or not her name was on a legal document, Alexis starts saying, if they won't let me talk, I won't stay. And then Shannon, in a really bad look, taking it too far, goes, you're a friend. Isn't your time up? And Andy just goes, no. It's just like, it gets so petty and it devolves into just liar face, look in a mirror girlfriend.
Oh my God. It was so
So painful and
So
stupid. That's the
stupid.
word. It was real stupid. I
And they
took your job
rehash-
10 years ago. I'm still sitting here. I've been on TV for 15 years. You're a TV star. And Andy just sits back in his seat overwhelmed, as was I. That seemed to be how we wrapped out.
I wrote more arguing. I don't know. That was literally my last note. More arguing. I don't know.
I feel like that's what was written all over Andy's face too, because he was just like raising his
Honestly.
eyebrows to the camera, like I don't know what to do. These two hens are just clucking at each other. And I did love in the preview for next week, as much as I could not stand Emily in this segment of the reunion, I do believe she'll have the best line of the season, saying every trash can needs a lid, and John Jansen found his.
Oh, shit.
That
Oh,
was great.
shit. What else did you watch this week, friend?
I finally actually, because I've been listening to podcasts for Salt Lake City and New York, but I finally watched both this week. Salt Lake City I thought was incredible. Did not miss Heather at all. Didn't even realize she wasn't on the episode.
Oh, that's a really
until
good
the
point.
bitter
You're
ass
right.
end.
You're right.
And then I watched New York, and I just will never watch it again. That was like the biggest waste of an hour I've ever spent in my life. I hate everyone on that show. I think Brynn should be fired immediately. She's a monster. I did not appreciate the whole episode was built around a joke. This isn't reality TV anymore. These are people producing storylines, and I just was so pissed off at the end. The only person I like is Uba, but not enough to ever tune in again. I'm done. That really it took me to my limit. I was so angry.
I was too.
And what is Brynn doing wearing like a back off I'm gay shirt? Like, are you not? What are you doing?
Reddit's real pissed. Reddit's
Well, I
real
don't
pissed about her gay
understand.
baiting. Yeah, I know. She's got that, she can be cutesy and provocative.
But she
and
lied. She
know.
blatantly said a lie that we see recorded. Jenna saying, I will not say that whoever has bad style. I don't even know what the fuck it was, but Brynn
Jessel
delivered
isn't
the news
basic.
right.
Jessel
Brynn
isn't
said,
basic.
Jenna absolutely said, you're basic. Then we see the flashback of Jenna saying, I will not say that Jessel is basic. And I was like, what is this show? Why am I watching this? And then it's like, ooh, Rebecca's pregnant. JK, we made a big joke. I'm like, why am I watching?
I don't know how I knew.
Erin. I hate her.
I hate Erin.
And I'm
looked at
curious
Josh.
about Rebecca Minkoff, but like, not
I'm
anymore. Now I'm
not.
mad.
No, I have 0.0 tolerance for Scientologists, as you know.
But I'm curious about her. For a reality show, I would love to
Okay.
actually hear her story rather than be put through a fake pregnancy storyline. That's annoying to me.
It was so stupid.
There's
I looked at
so
Josh
much-
and I was like, they're
yeah.
faking it. They're faking. This is fake. He's like, you think so? And I was like, yes, mark my words. And then he's like,
I'm
20 minutes later,
exhausted.
he's like,
I'm done.
Babe, you were right. Babe, how'd you know? And I'm like, because it's stupid. Like, this is so
Erin's
stupid.
stupid.
Yeah.
And everyone, that was just, it was, I'm done. I will continue to listen to podcasts, recap it when I'm in traffic, but I'm not ever going to sit down and watch it again.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Jessel, but like everyone else, I either feel meh about or absolutely am disgusted by. I don't care. Jenna's not interesting to me, like in the slightest, at least in the episode I watched. Erin is atrocious.
Repellent and repugnant.
And
Absolutely.
Brynn is just like unconscionably awful. It's not cute. She's not cute.
Not
She's
anymore.
just an asshole.
That shtick is over. Josh was so annoyed by her.
She's awful.
He was so annoyed. And he doesn't really get like heated. Like he scrolls on his phone and watches.
Same.
And it just kind of depends on what kind of mood I'm in if I'm going to scroll and watch. Sometimes like it's like, Ramona, just put the phone down and like get engaged with this show. Just like just watch the show for Christ's sake. Yeah, he got heated. He got real heated on Brynn. He's over her shtick. He is just like, she's ridiculous.
The whole show is shtick now. It's not a reality show.
People are not stoked on New York this season at all.
They should all be fired. And
Yeah.
whoever is producing that, shame on you for allowing any of that shit. Like that should have all been on the cutting room floor. If it meant there were 3 episodes this season, how dare you waste an hour of my life with that?
Honestly.
Especially because Salt Lake was so good. And in terms of what's relevant to our podcast, the Mary and her son storyline is devastating.
Dark.
And really, but so relevant.
Yeah.
It's not unusual and it's not like any kid takes their first pill expecting to be an addict. It happens. That's what happens. And Mary is a classic codependent, blaming herself. Like I just find that I'm really, as a public service, I'm glad that's going to play out on TV because I think, kids who are suffering an addiction, kids who are not in addiction but have siblings in it, parents who are trying to know what to do. Like, I'm curious to see how
Yeah.
this plays out. Anyways.
It was so uncomfortable. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And I saw like and I could, listen, I got real Al-Anon. I saw like the aerosol can
Oh,
on his
yeah.
desk.
Oh,
And I was all,
everything. There was so
oh,
much paraphernalia in that room, on the bed, and they were so checked out. It's
they were
just,
so checked out. It was just so painful. It was excruciating to watch. It was uncomfortable, and rightly so that should be uncomfortable.
and
That
that's what I
scene.
appreciate
Yeah.
about that show is like, that's reality. Thank you for letting us into your actual lives and experiencing, Mary like that. I feel for her. And I know
Mm-hmm.
she's been a villain for all these years, but like she doesn't know what to do. And then I did think it was interesting seeing Bronwyn, the dynamic between Bronwyn and her
My
abusive,
God.
like Tom Girardi echoes of
My
Tom
God.
Girardi husband.
I
He's
mean,
terrifying.
it's like, how they say, like, what, like the writing was on the wall, like when a scandal happens and people start like dissecting the carcass of the season that we just watched. Like, I think this happened with Scandival. Like, he said it right there. He said it right. It's like she's saying at dinner, we don't get along. There's like 2 things in this marriage that work and like 10 things that don't, or something she said. This is Bronwyn and Todd.
Yeah, and one of them
And
was
I
his
was,
credit card. It's like,
yeah, and like the trophy wife stuff or the gold digger stuff, whatever. Like, she's telling us all of this, but like we're just like, ha ha ha, it's a joke. But after the fact, it's gonna be like
well,
the
and
truth,
she
right?
released this like really scary statement because, she had made some jokes about, like you said, how we don't really get along. And she released a statement today or yesterday saying, like, I regret making self deprecating comments. Of course, my husband and I have a wonderful, beautiful relationship. And I was like, Jesus Christ, it sounds like you're a hostage and he's dictating to you what you're going to write in this statement. He's mean.
He is mean.
Ugh.
She looked pretty beaten down when he was like
It,
talking to her at some
I mean,
points.
have
And
you ever
yeah.
been in a relationship like that? Not
Yeah.
long, because I don't remember ever seeing that. But I've been in that dynamic where someone is like, where they shut you down and it's just too exhausting to fight
Mm-hmm.
back or to
Mm-hmm.
explain to everyone. So you just like go dark.
Mm-hmm. Oh
It's
yeah.
sad,
Oh yeah. You're just like, what's the point?
right?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
What did you watch?
I watched the same, which is why I'm having so much fun talking to you about it. Like watching Lisa Barlow go apo-fucking-plectic about having to
Sit in
take
17C?
sit in 17C. Like, listen, I don't think any of us have, like, obviously everyone wants to sit in first class, right? I'm sure there's going to be some fucking devil's advocate out there that'll be like, I don't care where I sit. It's like bullshit. It's nicer to have more room and get off the
But
plane
for a
sooner, whatever.
60-minute
But
flight,
for a
it
60, it's
couldn't matter
exactly,
less.
exactly. Like, I have to fly Southwest when I fly to San Diego or when I fly to Palm Springs. It's just the only plane, unless I want to switch flights, which is stupid for a flight that is less than an hour or maybe 90 minutes max. So you suck it up and you go on Southwest. It's not a big fucking deal. She shat herself and she's like, I love Henry, but I would rather wait to go on a later flight. And I was
Or
all,
fly to LA
okay,
and then fly to Salt Lake. It's like, are you out of your mind?
unbelievable, out of her mind.
For a 40-minute flight, it's like you're
And
on the ground before you're off the ground. Like, it's
I
so
mean,
fast. Who
and there was
cares?
so much footage of it
And
that
she
we're
was
seeing
having a
it again
full
next week.
meltdown.
Full ass meltdown. John's just like trying to figure out, how do I say this is completely an inappropriate response to have for the situation we're in? What the fuck is going on?
And also
Like,
17C, she's like, it's the back of the plane. And it's like, if 17 is the back of the plane, it's a very small plane.
right.
In which case, first class is not anything more than like, one seat on either side of the
Four
aisle
seats
instead of
total,
two.
probably. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, I don't
honestly,
understand
I
what
don't
there's
either.
on a plane like that. There's no glamorous travel accommodation. It's so stupid. And I loved
Unreal.
him for saying, like, just close your eyes and pretend you're in first class. It's like, for 60 minutes, anyone can do that. She's crazy. I
She
hate
is
her.
repellent and repugnant as well.
Yeah.
She's so, I used to just really love her.
We all did.
And
I don't know
now
what
I'm just like,
happened.
gross. I don't know. She got hired her own supply or something, or I don't know what. But
I
right
can't
now,
figure it
it's
out.
like Angie K is the only person I find charming on that show at all. I
I do
really,
appreciate Bronwyn for like not taking any shit from the women. But, again, I've only like seen one proper episode, so I shouldn't really talk. But
yeah, I think she's fake as fuck.
yeah. But I did like her for saying, like, I go to the bathroom and you call Heather. Fuck you guys.
Yeah,
This is
that
my
was
trip and I asked
ridiculous.
you like
That was
not to
so
do that. So
stupid.
go to hell.
She's my
But then
friend.
her
And it's like,
husband.
Lisa, you hate Heather. You hate Heather Gay. We have eyes. Like, the internet doesn't forget, and the shows are streamable. Like, what are you talking about? At the beginning of this season, I think they probably still had beat. I don't give a shit. But yes, that's what I watched. That's what I watched.
It was fascinating.
What was your antidepressant this week, friend?
My antidepressant this week, it was so Wednesday I had a day. It started lovely. I teach this class on Wednesday mornings that I love. And then I had a really gnarly day at work and I wound up leaving early. And I called a friend who told me about this group that she does this like spiritual practice with. And I was just in such a mood that I called her and I was like, hey, is that thing happening tonight? She's like, it's starting right now. Jump on Zoom. And I did, and it happened to be a group of like all female TV writers, all doing this like spiritual practice. And a number of years ago, I had a bad experience with female TV writers, and it really scared me and soured me. And for a bad day at this job with a male writer, leading into this like beautiful hour and a half with 8 incredible female TV writers guided by a very like purposeful value system. Like it was like beautiful. And I know it sounds like a little woo woo and weird, but like I needed woo woo and weird.
No,
And
it
like
doesn't at
it's
all.
also just one of those like convergence of like, thank God I had a bad day because that means I left at an hour that dropped me into this thing right as it was starting. And what luck, you know? So
Absolutely.
now I'm going to leave early on every Wednesday so that
I
I
love
can
that.
be a part of that. It was great.
It doesn't sound woo-woo at all. It sounds beautiful, and
It
I'm
was.
thrilled. I'm
Me
thrilled that's how
too.
you ended that day. I'm thrilled.
And they talked sometimes in specifics about the industry and a lot of people reporting in on the status of projects, some going very well and some hitting walls. And they, as like a collective group, would just go like, bless that closed door, bless that closed door, keep it moving, you know? And I was like, oh my God.
Oh, I needed to hear that right now. Yeah.
So did I that whole night. And it was the refrain all night. And it wasn't like, it wasn't with pity. It was just like, bless that closed door. What's next? What else do you got cooking? What else is on your agenda? Let's go. Let's fucking talk about it and get you excited about that. So it was really fucking cool. I feel really lucky that I had a bad day that led me to get to participate in that.
I'm really glad, Margie. I'm really glad. I'm really
How
glad.
about you? What was your antidepressant?
Doing this right now, it's true. I feel infinitely less emotionally burdened, and my antidepressant is that I'm I'm titrating back up on a med that I recently went off of because, well, I thought I didn't. I thought I didn't need it anymore. It had
Sometimes you
been
gotta
years
try to find
doing
out.
lots of things, lots of successes with ketamine therapy and all of that. But turns out I do need it. But this was the week where I got to go from like the starting dose. I got to double the starting dose. So I'm titrating back up to get back to my therapeutic dose or whatever that new therapeutic dose is. So a literal antidepressant is my antidepressant this week.
Amazing.
Better living through chemistry.
Hell yeah.
Live it, learn it, love it. Oh, and I am very grateful. I'm just real grateful for my professional medical team, my psychiatrist, my gynecologist, my therapist. They all work together. I send all of my notes to them because it's all related. And they all know each other and they all love each other. And I'm just like, oh, thank God. Yeah, I'm grateful for it every fucking day. And it's all because of my kid. Because without having my kid, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's possible that I would have been looped in with my therapist and my psychiatrist and my ketamine therapist. It's possible. I sure met them because they were all at UCSF obstetrics and gynecology when I was pregnant.
Serendipity, baby.
So seriously, yes, yes.
We
And
both experienced that. That's
yeah, we did.
common thread in our antidepressants.
You're right. You're right. So,
That's real. I'm just saying that out loud so I can remind myself serendipity is real. Grace is real. Like unearned gifts are real things.
Bless that closed door.
Right?
Margie, everything you say I take as real. You're my emotional touchstone.
Aw.
You know? I mean, a huge emotional touchstone for so many years now. So what you say has such gravitas.
I'm just repeating what I heard those that are smarter than me relay. So,
Man. Well, I love you, friend.
I
And
love you
I had as I suspected, like I feel so much better now that you and I have chatted for 90 minutes. And if anyone is listening right now, I hope that you feel better at the end of this 90 minutes as well, or something, or just like you're able to chalk that 90 minutes off the clock and it's 90 minutes closer to bedtime or something fun that you wanted to do, whatever. Just thank you for listening. And as independent content creators, we really appreciate when you spread the word about our podcast. So if you know of anyone that you think would enjoy it, please just send them a little link to it. And you can always reach us at atherapeuticdose@gmail.com or find us on Instagram at A Therapeutic Dose. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Take good care of yourselves.
Yes,
we'll
please
talk
take good
next
care of
week.
yourself. Bless those closed doors.
Bless them, baby.
And look for the serendipity, right? Oh, I always want to tear up. All right. All right. Love you, friend. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Ramona and Margie are
Obviously
not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.